how many Morgan silver dollars would you say you look at on average a month?
Low end in a month, 30,000. On the high end, 60,000.
I got a box of coins right here. Gold could go to $0 tomorrow. Yeah, these gold coins would still be worth a couple $100,000.
I don't think that we, sort of in the begging position for new and innovative releases from the United States Mint, can really be choosing.
Do you know the biggest coin dealer or dealer group in the country? Do you know who they are? The United States Mint.
Welcome back to the Premier Coin Report. This is episode 9, guys. We've done 9 of these. This is the 9th one. That feels like a lot, but it's really not that much because it's just been 9 weeks.
But 9 weeks strong. We have not missed one yet.
Our good buddy Charles is not going to be here this week. Stuck up with some traveling. But Stephen Yaffe from Imperial is here. Stephen, give us a little intro.
What's up, everyone? I'm the replacement.
We call you a bestie, not a replacement.
Sorry, I should rephrase. A bestie. Jeff's bestie. I help run Imperial Coin Exchange. We're a wholesale gold and silver distributor, specifically silver dollars, U.S. gold. Been a family business, changed a couple names over time. Been around for 40-plus years. Like I said, we're out of Tampa, just about 5 minutes north of the airport. Only about 3 hours from Jeff if I drive. But no, I'm happy to be here. Thanks again for the invite, guys.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. We got some good topics this week. We've added 12. There's 12 topics on the docket.
So, oh, Lord, we got to go quick.
In my defense, I added the last 3, and one of them is about my bachelor party and what Jeff did.
Oh, Lord. Well, I don't know. I haven't looked at the docket since it's been updated. But yes, me and Stephen do go back. I was gratefully and luckily invited to his bachelor party and wedding with his wonderful and beautiful wife, which they're now expecting a baby, right? Their first one. Very nice. Congratulations.
That's awesome.
And it, the coin world, you never know who you're going to meet. The world is a lot smaller than you think, and the friendships you really build is truly incredible. So, I'm glad we've been able to fulfill this, and, thanks again.
Those questions that you put, Steven, in the docket, I feel like we should just go ahead and do them right now. Let's just go ahead and talk.
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
The first one on there is, how do wholesalers work? You said you're a wholesale coin distributor. For the listeners at home who've never heard the word wholesale, aside from Costco, what does that mean?
So, Kurt, did you have something before I go?
I just want to give this guy a better introduction. Imperial Coin Exchange is not just any wholesaler, all right? I mean, in many cases, they set the markets for some of the largest areas of numismatics, and many dealers, myself included, get a nearly daily email, setting the market. So, I mean, Imperial Coin Exchange is one of the biggest wholesalers in the country. So I just wanted to, you were very humble there at the beginning, Stephen. I wanted to give you a better intro. This is really behind the scenes, guys.
To tag team Kurt in the effort of non-gatekeeping, all of our Morgan silver dollar coal rolls you'll see come from Imperial. So, I mean, Kurt wasn't lying when he said they kind of set the market. When I say this with pride, Yaffe is closer to $100 million in sales than anyone else that's been on our panel. They really do work with a lot of pre-1933 gold and silver, and by wholesale definition, I mean they do sell a lot to dealers. If you're looking for a pre-1933, from jewelry condition all the way up till Mint State 62. I know Stephen's being modest, but that's what's in that daily email. It's literally, I would say industry standard, beating almost every major outlet that I can imagine when it comes to pricing, Morgan silver dollars and type gold coins. I'm sure Stephen will elaborate a little bit more on that, but to beef up the intro a little bit more, I agree 100% with Kurt. I mean, this is,
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, guys. I think you guys kind of explained it all for me, for what we do. But yeah, there's a few market makers for silver dollars and U.S. gold. I would consider us one of them. I'd consider us one of the smaller ones. We're not the top dog by any means, but we definitely have a thorn in the bush. We got a little bit of effect on when we need to buy something, we can raise something up and people will actually sell us the stuff. Or if the market goes down, we can it'll be down, and we can get stuff as well at set prices. Yeah, so really, what we do is primarily dealer to dealer. We deal with everyone from the shops in Tampa to people in California. We've done international shipments. Primarily the people we work with are ordering silver dollars, U.S. gold. We dabble in a little bit of rare coins. We used to do it a lot more, but I've tried to get our focus more on I guess the bare bones, like the lower premium stuff right now, and I'll get into the premium stuff in a little bit. I handle a lot of the buying and the selling, so a lot of like the processing. Uh, it's actually just pretty much me and a couple other sorters. We don't have like a team of like 10 people doing it. There's only 2 or 3 of us. Um, yeah, and my job on that end, people send us silver dollars. I don't know if you guys are able to put up our bid sheet or something like that, so viewers can see it, if they're watching. But
Yeah,
on
we
the
can throw
sheet,
it up and
We,
post
we
it.
could probably
yeah,
throw it up
throw
in
it
there,
up.
but just out of curiosity for some of the viewers,
Huh?
how many Morgan silver dollars would you say you look at on average a month when you're doing your sorting? Give
Well,
kind of a gravitas to what we're talking about here.
oh God. It depends on the time of the year, but
Give me a
last,
high low.
I would say on the low end in a month, 30,000. On the high end, 60,000.
What would you say
Some,
your biggest month ever? Like how many Morgan silver dollars have touched your hands in the largest month you've ever seen silver dollars?
oh Lord.
Sixty
We
thousand. I mean, that still blows my freaking
That's
mind.
insane.
we
Yeah,
I
that's
get to
nuts.
touch like 500 to 1,000 a month.
we did a deal of I can't really disclose how many bags, but it was over 100 of culls. About 2 years ago, and we had about 30 days to fill it. Um,
So that was just one deal. That wasn't
that was
like, oh,
one.
this is a plethora of deals.
Yeah, that was a single
Jesus
deal.
Christ.
Yeah,
Whew.
that was it was some time ago, but yeah.
I
We've
mean,
had a
Jesus,
couple.
those are worth what 300,000 in melt today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and those
it
bags are roughly 200 coins each, ish,
no thousand
or
thousand coins.
Thousand,
thousand
yeah,
each.
$1,000 bags. Yeah, these are,
Yeah,
yeah,
so it was a minimum of 100,000 silver
yeah,
dollars.
yeah,
We're doing
Yeah,
the
so
math in our head. That's incredible. Seriously.
yeah. With silver at $41 right now, the melt values of those bad boys is like $31 right now, which is pretty freaking nuts. So I
Yeah, that's
mean, that
insane.
was a good deal for whoever bought those.
yeah, no, it was kind of
And
once again, I'm not allowed to go into the details of the deal, but it was kind of a wild story. Actually, on if I may like divert just a little bit on the wholesale side, just explain like a cool deal we just had happen like a month and a half ago.
Sure,
Is
go for it.
that's
What's
cool
up?
with you guys? All right, so I'll keep it
yeah,
short. So we get a lot of like cold calls from folks that like get referrals from us. Hey, like I heard you bought this for my friend. Oh, I've got a lot of this, and we got a call from a lady, and she said I think it was a senior attorney referred her to us, and she goes, yeah, my husband died 5 years ago, and I'm 79, and have I've never really known what my husband collected. I knew he had a lot of silver, but I've had it. There's a couple safes that I've known about. I never had the combos, and the combination. I was electronic safe. Combination died, so I had a safe cracker come by, and out there's these 3 yellow boxes that fall out. Well, for anyone who knows, if there's 3 sealed yellow boxes, it's Canadian maples, silver maples. And she goes, yeah, I found these 3 boxes, and then I started looking around the house, and I found more and more. I found some in the air duct. Not kidding. And she's like,
That's
yeah, I have
wild.
so many silver. I have so much silver here. So we arranged a time. She lives about an hour and a half north of us. And she was like, you need to have an SUV to get to my house. I live in a trailer. It's a mobile home, but you need a car. You cannot drive a small car. You need a truck. It's like, no problem. We'll get it covered.
no
So
bringing the Tesla up there.
you can't bring a Tesla up there. And my partner and I went up, and she wasn't kidding. It was in the middle of BFE, middle of freaking nowhere. And we get to this house. We missed the house because it was overgrown by trees. We walk in, and it's a cute little home. Like we're in a trailer home, and she had 19 boxes of silver maples. So there's 500 ounces of silver in a box. So you can do the
Yeah,
math.
What
that's
in the
literally
world?
insane. Yeah,
Yeah,
almost
and
10,000 silver coins.
yeah, and then that didn't include the 2,000 ounces of bars she had under her bed that she slowly was
That's almost a
discovering.
$500,000 in today's value of silver
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in a
And
trailer
she
home.
and
That's
she knew
good for
about.
them. Yeah, that is pretty funny. We'd definitely love to get those and throw those up there. And then, real quick before we move on to the a little bit more further the docket, yeah, if I just had a quick question from you, because obviously, Premier Coins, we've been in business for 10 years. We go to a lot of shows
Sure.
and some international shows. Can you at least give to our listeners a little brief experience of, how do a show year work for you? What's your biggest shows? What shows do you look out for the most and why? Because I don't want to speak for you, but I don't think I've ever seen you
Sure.
at an international show. But
Right.
I
No.
definitely can say that you go to more U.S. shows than we do. So
Yeah, I mean, it really just depends. To be completely honest with you guys, it's not as sexy as it sounds or it could be. Like we plan our shows out usually 6 months in advance. I probably go to about 12 shows a year. You've got the big ones. You've got the two fun shows. Excuse me. You've got the two Baltimores. There's three Baltimores, but we only go to two. We go to Central States. I'll go. My personal favorite's Dalton. Or the Dalton or BRNA and the Blue Ridge. Or I guess that is the Blue Ridge show. But yeah, it really like at the shows we're one of the. There's multiple people that will sit there and buy silver dollars at a show, and they'll go up there. Someone comes up to them and wants to sell them. Yeah, I'll pay you X price for all of them. Well, we go through it and we'll actually sort the stuff in front of you. You can actually see what the sort is, what you're expecting, and what I mean by sort for anyone who's listening, um, like the categories. So the stuff that's the lowest premium, the stuff that we call out versus the BU, the beautifully uncirculated, or just the unk stuff. So it really just like it's just depends on what you want to get out of a show. That for us is it the most margin driven material? It's not, but it gets people to send us stuff and it gets people to trust what we're doing,
yeah.
and then it's a game of volume. And for us, volume's everything. It's buy, turn, buy it, turn it, flip it, and just keep doing that. Occasionally, you'll get a home run here and there, but like any successful business model, you've got all your base hits. That's going to cover that's going to cover the electricity, the payroll, the stuff like that. Then you get the home run here and there that allows you to live the life you want to live, and then obviously you push where you
Well,
want to do that. So
yeah, I just wanted to give the listeners obviously a quick spiel of that because
yeah,
just that information you just said right there, especially with the shows, there's a lot of stuff that as auctioneers our other bestie that didn't make it, doesn't really go to. And some shows that, we don't really attend as well. So I think that's really vital information for a lot of
yeah.
the listeners, if they ever wanted to be into that side, that's a good chase.
Hey there. I'm so happy to have you on, Steven, and I think that this has been a
Thanks.
great conversation so far. I don't mean to take up too much time here, but your father, Mark, I grew up hearing stories about as a legend in the coin industry, and for you to be a second generation coin dealer on, at that scale, right? A lot of family owned businesses, right, don't make it past that first generation. Not
Right.
because, they don't have someone to pass it along to, but just because interests diverge. The second generation may not be interested or as interested in carrying it on as the first. What experience did you have in coins growing up that led you to believe that this was the place you wanted to make your career in? Because I know that's a lot of people are coin dealers, but not very many are second or multiple generation coin dealers. So that's a
Yeah.
unique perspective here.
May 1st, 2021. That was my first day working as a coin dealer.
Wow.
Uh, November of 2020, I didn't know what a silver dollar was. So I couldn't tell you, 2020 during COVID, I lived in Colorado. I was in grad school for psychology. I was training hopefully to be a psychiatrist. Excuse me, not psychiatrist, psychologist. And I can vividly remember one of my buddies texting me a picture. Now I know it was a walker, just a walking Liberty half dollar. He texted me, he was like, "Hey, what is this?" And I sent him a message back on Snapchat, and I said, I have no clue. I can ask my dad. You live and you learn. No, I truthfully, Kurt, I knew zero about U.S. coinage or any coinage in general.
I had no
Um,
idea. That's awesome.
yeah, no, I knew nothing, and I was in grad school. I was home for Thanksgiving, and I used to coach football privately, so I had that business going, and it was doing pretty well. So I was traveling
Which
back
that's a
every two
whole other
weeks.
conversation, Mr. Coach
That's
Football privately. That's him underestimating himself once again. This is a all-star friggin' college athlete kicking football, training like
eh,
Super Bowl, maybe not Super Bowls,
thank you.
but NFL.
Kind of, not really, but thank you, Jeff. But yeah, I'll never forget. I was sitting on my dad's couch in November, and um, I was just sitting there with my parents, and I was like, "Hey, Dad, you want to teach me coins?" And at first, he told me no. He didn't want me to. Yeah, he didn't want me to get involved in the industry, and he's like, "Oh, there's a lot of bad things that can happen, and I don't want to see you get hurt." And I was like, "Well, I'm an adult.
It's
Like,
like
uh,
Batman.
yeah,
It's like
kind of,
coin
yeah, just
Batman.
the coin Batman." And yeah, and then I started coming in the office, and the first lesson he taught me, he gave me our bucket, a monster box of silver dollars. They were all culls, and he said, "Go through every single coin and tell me why there's a problem." And that's just how I started. And I want to be as clear as day. I do not proclaim to know everything. I do not know much. I mean, honestly, you guys could probably run circles on me on the general knowledge of stuff, but I don't know. But now that I've got this basis under my belt, I've found a couple areas that I can flourish in, and or try to flourish in at least, and just
And
work it and do what I need to.
that's what's
And
really crazy about numismatics, though. Like, if you have the opportunity to look at $30,000 to $40,000 in one 30 to 40,000 of the same coin every month, right? You can make money off of that, and you could
yeah,
do well. You could run a
I can
business off of just that.
I could tell you what dates you're gonna find in VG
That's
that you'll
incredible.
never find in XF, and it's just like common stuff, like stuff no one cares about, but you just see so much of it. Like 1898, for example, Morgan dollars. They either come in good six or they come in XF40. That's like it. Then you'll find them in AU, and they come in like kind of slidery or like low NBU, and that's it. Like you don't find them like in any other category. But I mean, it's a similar thing. Like what's a good way to explain it?
You're gonna have to write a
I don't
book
know.
one day
Yeah,
on the tips
I've
and tricks of Morgans.
I would prefer to write a book on the how to how to moreover like how to find a way to like, or I don't know, find a way to hustle. Like what's the hustler's mentality of doing all this? Like what's the way to, you can do this kind of off the beaten path, and you can do well, and you can make a living, and you can support a family. I don't know. I think of it like how to do this like the cool way, the fun way.
I would definitely buy either of those books. And if your story shows us anything, it's that anyone from any background, if you have the drive and the passion and the thirst for knowledge, you can make it in a very big way in this industry. And that's just incredible. I never knew that about you, Stephen, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's just really great. Thanks for answering
Thank
that
you.
question,
Oh,
man.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I hate to cut in on the
Yeah, the
Steven
first 23
documentary.
minutes of yeah, right.
It's okay. It's okay. It gives some good
we
background, and I think it
If you can't
opens
tell,
up.
audience, we do love this man, right? Just a little bit,
Yeah, I think you will have a very good perspective. I think the background that we just did kind of verifies your knowledge in this space. We try to open every episode with a bullion market report. So
Mhm.
I'll go ahead and pull up our
which
bullion pricing,
absolutely mind blowing.
which is
Silver is
insane. Silver and gold are both at insane levels. Is this a record high for gold at 3,600, or has it gotten up there before?
This is a
no,
record.
this is yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen this. Silver's been up near here. I think the peak was $59, if I'm
Yeah, I don't
correct.
think gold's ever been over $3,000 before. Yeah, gold's never been over 3 grand before 2025. So I mean, every next hundred is a new, world record. Silver, on the other
Yeah.
Yeah,
hand, has gone up a couple times, but
I
world, yeah, for gold, it's now record breaking every. 700 would be the next one, and then so on.
yeah, I
And
wanted to ask Steven
yeah,
because this is such a rapid growth just over the last 30 days. What from the wholesale side, like how does that massive growth affect what you guys are doing?
Well, I mean, there's a few different perspectives you got to look from. Like it's super multidimensional, and I'll try to hit it all in a short span. First and foremost, if you've had the inventory, your inventory is worth a lot more, which is great. If you're hedging the stuff, you may not get as much, but you're protected. Right now, like I like to think I'm a pretty level-headed trader. Like, for me, it's like I trade what's in front of me. So like the ups and downs don't really matter. I mean, sure, like average wise, like law of averages, it doesn't move too much, and that's okay. Like I don't need to hit the high, I don't need to get the low. But for emotional based traders, like this is a freaking roller coaster. Like people are like, oh my god, gold is so high. Oh my god, silver's so high. What, like they don't know how to get past that part. So for what we do, I mean, we just trade what's in front of us. And there's nothing else you can do. Like our business model is to buy, sell, trade the stuff, and we'll continue to do it. If the numbers are higher than this, lower than this, it doesn't matter. So yeah, like right now, it's pretty wild. I think anyone can agree with that.
Yeah, well, do we have any predictions from I've heard that you think supposedly the value of the gold is going to go down.
Me?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Some rumblings.
I don't know a birdie curling his mustache would ever say that. No, I mean, I think truthfully, I think in the short term, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a correction. Correction's not the word I want to use. I take that back. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a movement on the downside, under 10%. Um, it Gold has moved up so quick, so fast, and silver, percentage wise, has done more, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but I think with the next 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, as long as we have this group in DC, like there's a lot of uncertainty. People don't know what's going to happen. People are scared. Job numbers are not great. Um, we've got everything going over in Ukraine and Russia. You just had the incident happen in Utah yesterday. Like people are scared. People don't know what's going to happen. So when people don't know what's going to happen, there's only three things that matter: gold. I love silver. Don't get me wrong. Gold, real estate, and water. Or rights to water, like to riverways and stuff. That's what people want at the end of the day, in my opinion. And the government owns a lot of that. Real estate's getting tougher to buy. So what do you buy? You buy gold. You can put $15,000 in your pocket. No one would ever notice. You put $15,000 in cash in your pocket. I think someone's going to notice that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Cur-
think we're going to, if I may. Sorry, I realize I just didn't answer the question.
yeah, no, what do you think what's your prediction for the gold market in, let's say, 12 months?
Okay, 12 months from now, generally speaking, I think we're going to be higher. I would not be surprised to see gold 41 to 42.50.
Woo!
Um,
We're gonna break that four
Silver,
marker. Very nice.
yeah, silver. I don't know. Um, I I'm not really one to like project that far out with stuff like this. There's too many things. Like I don't know what's going on behind the scenes in Wall Street where people are making these trades. Nor do I.
I will tell you, the last time silver hit almost 40, $50, it dropped back down to nine within the next 18 months. So I'd love
Something to think
$9
about.
silver again in my lifetime.
And obviously something to think about. Now, do I think we're going to go to $9? I don't think so. If we had some catastrophic world event and people didn't know what to do, I think everything will go down with that. But no, I think gold. I think gold will be higher 12 months from now. And I would like to think silver would be higher, but I'm not very confident on that answer.
I want to hear from Kurt's side of the table as well on this. I probably buy the least amount of gold out of the four people on the panel, but I'd say Kurt is, I would assume, one rung above me in the amount of gold that you're actually purchasing on like a monthly basis.
I'd hope
Um,
so.
you'd hope so.
No, I'm
What does
just
that
fooling.
mean?
I'm just fooling. Listen, I tie my profit to interest arbitrage, which I don't know if is a real term. I just came up with that now, but most of the coins that I buy and sell have very little to do with their precious metal content, and instead, most of the value is derived from numismatic demand, right? So if gold goes up, that's great. I do have some gold just personally in personal investments, so I'm happy to see it. I think It's great because people make money when gold goes up and are more willing to sell their coins. And that also means that the coins I paid too much for are now more expensive. But I don't hedge. I don't speculate on current precious metals markets. I know a lot of guys who do, and some do very well in it. Um, but my business is largely unaffected by the movings and of precious metals, be that gold or silver. I want everyone to win and anyone to make money here because that means they spend more on what I find super interesting, which are rare and historical gold coins. Um, it does unfortunately mean I have to pay more for bullion grade issues. If a client would like to have some sovereigns, the same coins that I remember paying $350 for are now close over $800. I think sovereigns are melting for now, which just blows my mind.
Crazy,
Blows my
crazy.
It's
mind.
nuts. It's wild.
For 0.2354, AGW, you're paying $860. The rough mental math in my head, forgive me. Um, and that also means that the premiums for the semi-numismatic gold coins, like take your Australian sovereigns or your Canadian sovereigns or your better date LMU stuff, are crushed. So the same coins that I was used to selling for a $50 or $150 premium above melt are now either at parity or even some cases 2% back when I was getting $100 premiums per coin.
Yeah.
So it's a give and take, but all in all, it's a net neutral. But a rising tide floats all boats. So I think the more people that make money, the merrier, right?
Yeah. Jeff, do you have any opinions about it?
I mean, I'm in kind of the same boat as Gamer. I really deal in the high end rare coins. So I mean, I got a box of coins right here that gold could go to $0 tomorrow. Yeah, these gold coins would still be worth a couple $100,000. So I mean, unfortunately, I wish I had an intellectual input on where gold and silver would be. I would say
Oh,
that
Jeff, we
my
know where
number.
you want it to go.
Well, I definitely want it to go up. I mean, I always say one tool for me is that, silver is the fastest horse up and down, right? Gold is the slowest horse strategically up. So I've always kind of stuck by that. There's never been a period in time where gold was less value a decade later versus silver has had multiple instances where that's occurred. Personally, with the age of I think it's all going to kind of skyrocket because every government is really just fighting for earth minerals and precious metals rights because
Yeah.
they have no idea what to expect or what they're going to need for their own machinery and robots in the future. So I just think that every country and everyone is doing everything that they can to put their hands on, the first and only currency that I know around the world, which is gold. I mean, I guess you could say that some cryptocurrencies are now considered global currencies everywhere, but I mean, gold was definitely the first, and has definitely held that strike. So I mean, at the end of the day, um, you know, it's great to see it. I remember buying grams of gold not too long ago from Yaffe at $65 a gram,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
they're peaking 120 right now, which is pretty crazy. So I mean, it's just one of those things where I always said I can't wait to live through the age of again, I always kind of talk. I always throw shade. I'm not going to say talk shit, but I throw shade on the first generation coin dealers. The ones like Steven's dad, because they lived in an area where gold went from 1999, which was $200 an ounce, to gold going to $2,000 an ounce in a decade. I mean, like literally anything Steven's dad bought, right, and couldn't sell 2 months later was worth more in melt value when it comes to like double eagles and stuff. So it's crazy because we now live in a time just like that. Like I always thought,
Yeah.
like that's never going to happen in my career. Like in 10 years, it never happened. But I remember selling double eagles to my clients when I first started at $1,200 a double eagle, right? And now you know, we may see a time period before the end of this year is over where you may never get a double eagle again certified for less than $4,000, which is just it's just crazy to think. So I mean, all around, like Kurt said, rising tide rises all boats. It's just crazy to think that I now live in a time period where I can pay up for something that I want, and 2 months later, it's worth more just in melt value than I would need. So the double eagle market has definitely been really fun and interesting, and it's a good time to have gold in the safe. Who can complain?
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what Jeff said, I wanted to add a personal anecdote with some of my dealings with Steven and how much I appreciate his business. I had a situation last summer where a client wanted to be paid in gold. We lost Steven.
We
Maybe
lost
he doesn't
Steven.
hear the story, but I'll continue with it. He wanted to trade the coin he was selling to me for gold. We
Sorry
got
about
you,
that, guys.
Steven?
My phone
No
No
worries.
overheated.
worries. We were trying to talk shit about you.
Steven, I bought some gold from you at I believe gold was at around 2,400 an ounce when I made the purchase from you guys because a client wanted to trade his gold coins and or his rare coins for gold, and he ended up reneging the deal, and I put the coins in my drawer and forgot about them until about a month ago. I'm cleaning out my office and I found two double eagles, and they're up from 2,400 to 3,600. So I was very happy about that. And just a little personal anecdote because this really does happen. I mean, and it's a rare time to be alive, and it's a good time to be trading coins right now. That's all I wanted to say.
That's hilarious. That reminds me of a guy who came into our shop yesterday who was saying he had a maple leaf that he always put in one drawer above his headboard, and it had like slipped behind the back of the drawer, and he just forgot about it, and then was like cleaning stuff out and just randomly came across. It's like, oh, there's a 1 ounce maple. All right, pretty
Extra
nice.
couple $1,000s in your pocket.
Yeah,
Speaking
why
of
Yeah,
not?
absolutely.
crazy stories that just came through, Isaac, I don't know if you want to tell it, but the silver quarter, that was pretty crazy. We had someone come in here and just jumping around a little bit talking about premiums. We had someone come in here the other day, and I'm just like looking at my little PCGS Coinflation app. I'm like, okay, scrolling through, what's a quarter worth? What's a roll of quarters? And right now, the amount of silver that's in a roll of quarters, because you get, what is it, $10, 40 quarters, a $10 face value. So I mean, realistically, you're looking at almost $300 in meltable silver right now. But you can find them on the internet for $275. So it's real crazy the fact that, like, silver has jumped so high so fast, that people are literally buying and then reselling silver under the price of silver. Like this,
Yeah.
technically speaking, might be one of the cheapest times theoretically to buy silver, because when in the past 10 years were you able to buy silver from a dealer for less than spot?
Well, you can look at
Like,
what bids were historically back like in back in the early '80s when refiners were 90 days backed up and silver was trading at $10 an ounce less. Like, I don't know if it was ten
yeah,
bucks. I think it
like,
was more like $8, but still, like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's just
it's
crazy when it jumps up that fast. Like, it's, like, for the consumer, if it's still going to go up, or you believe that, it's just pretty crazy that it has gone up so fast that, like, everyone is just selling and buying under the price.
it's this is an interesting time. It's a fun, interesting time.
Yeah, very interesting. Kurt, did you have something you wanted to say? Let's go ahead and move on. The spot prices in relationship to the mint releases has always been something I'm kind of interested in, especially as we increase in overall gold value. The melt value for the gold coins that you would have bought 2 or 3 years ago from the U.S. Mint straight out, a lot of those are getting very close to making you profit at this point just off the melt value. I did want to bring up a couple of mint releases that are coming up pretty soon. The first big one is the Proof Morgan and Peace dollars are now available for sale. They went up at noon today. I don't know why we're still making these. I'll be totally honest.
You're talking about
I'd be curious to
the
hear your
bottom.
guys' opinion on this.
I'm just like I get making a Morgan dollar up to 1921 or to 2021, but then to keep making them past 2021 doesn't make a whole ton of sense.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'll give a quick opinion on this one. I don't really like it at all. I totally believe if you're going to remake a coin from the past, make it in a different metal. right? Make the gold coin in a silver coin so that way people can afford it, or make the cheap coin in a gold coin, right? Like I love the Sacagawea, right? They turned a cheap dollar into a gold coin. That's never been done before. I bought it, right? If they made a flowing hair silver coin into a gold coin, loved it, bought it.
That was cool.
But like to make more silver coins into more expensive silver coins, um,
Yeah, and it's so $100 for a brand new Morgan dollar.
So I have a question for you guys. Do you know who the
What's up?
biggest? Do you know the biggest coin dealer or dealer group in the country? Do you know who they are?
The United
is it
States
is
Mint.
it
Yeah, the United States Mint. People forget that all the time. Like the U.S. Mint is by far the largest coin distributor in the country.
It's not even close.
Yeah, like
And
not
they have a product here that's sold out every single time they've released it. So
every
who's
time?
ever in that boardroom is probably having a hard time
It's
justifying
it's
a
it,
discontinuation of the product.
it's just unfortunate because when I look at the U.S. Mint and all the other mints, right, they might be the largest dealer out there, but their product gets hyped from the flow through in the second and third markets. And if you look at it over time, the Morgan silver dollars have mostly flopped in the secondary market. Unlike the laser privies or the American the Beautiful coin series where you have the bucking bronco, and then you have the flowing hair, and then you have the sunflower that just came out. Those coins tend to be iconic coins, limited mintages. Even when they sell out, they're immediately selling for more money. While these coins might sell out because there's no one per household limit to my knowledge. I mean, I can't see the bottom there. Is there a limit to
Yeah,
these?
it's a household.
Uh,
It's a household limit of 10, and then unlimited
yeah,
after like the first 10 days or something.
yeah. So I mean, usually these end up not selling out, and then they go to big retailers like Amark or something like that that just buy the rest of them or all of them. But they don't tend to have a good retail market. This would be one of the ones where if our listeners were like, hey, is this going to be like the flowing hair or the sunflower or the laser privy or the army privy? I would say no. This is a purely collectible coin. You buying this because you're liking it and you're putting it in your safe. But resale value, maybe I'm missing the boat on it, but I haven't seen it in the years.
But Jeff, here we need to come from the position of the United States Mint's primary purpose is to produce circulation issue coins, right? We haven't
Yeah.
seen prior to this, silver dollar rebirth program, really any nod to the history of the mint. And I don't think that, we sort of in the begging position for new and innovative releases from the United States Mint can really be choosing.
No,
Um,
but they
just
could have done something like the Perth Mint. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Kurt. It like skipped a little bit there, but then if you're going to do that, right? And again, this might be a hot take, but do something like the Canadian Mint where you make a rhodium version. Do something like the Perth Mint where you're going to make an ultra high relief version. Make a 2 ounce version. Do something for the love of God different. Because realistically, what I'm looking at is I'd rather go to Steven right now and Imperial and go, hey, for $100, can you give me three of your best call Morgans from 100 years ago? Right. I personally would rather have that. At
and
$30
so
a
and
coin, I
so
could
would
get three of them.
would
So
I, Jeff. But the fact of the matter is we right now we are having the United States Mint revitalize a classic U.S. design, and I think it's better than them doing nothing.
um,
Obviously, there's always room to improve, and I'd love to see an
look at the
Amazonian
flowing
series
hairs.
of points.
Look at the flowing hair. Right, the flowing
Right,
hair was a perfect
right.
example. Right,
I
they didn't
agree,
do it
and I'm
every
sure
year.
that that
Right, they
decision will
made a
be
limited
made
release
somewhere
of a
down the
silver
line.
and gold coin. It's sold out immediately. The gold coin is almost a $9,000 coin right now, which is 3 to 4 times the value of what it was released from the U.S. Mint. So I guess it is what it is, right? You can't ask for too much, but
It's just it's kind of a step in the right direction, I guess, but it feels like we're beating a dead horse a little bit.
yeah.
Just because there
But
isn't
yeah.
a 1925 Morgan. That's my main contention. Is like we're bringing back a coin. It was perfectly timed to bring it back in 2021. We're gonna make a 2021 Morgan dollar, and now we're making a 2022 Morgan dollar, and a
Once again,
2023 Morgan dollar.
yeah, I mean,
remember
I
the
guess for
U.S.
me,
Mint's the
like,
biggest.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, no, like you're saying, the U.S. Mint's the biggest coin dealer. But for me, I always like mystery within mystery. So, like, give me something that's going to develop a new collector. It's going to develop a collector that already exists into another unfold of collectibles. Like, to me, you're buying this because you love the Morgan silver dollar, or you're buying this because you buy coins from the U.S. Mint. Versus, what am I getting from the coin? Like, if you made this into a rare pattern, like the Morgan half dollar that was almost put into circulation, and you sold those now at $45, $50, you'd get more collectors, right? The collectors would have to learn that a pattern exists, so you'd get all these U.S. Mint people that don't understand patterns, that never knew patterns existed. So in my mind, I feel like there's always a second or third, right, that you could do when you're producing coins that have a butterfly effect, that not only get the people that are going to buy them already, but also educate them, develop them into, new possible tiers of collectibles, to, like, do more. Like, I guess, like,
Kurt, do
there's
you have
such.
Steven asked for our thoughts on it. I don't think he was, he knew that he was going to open up this big can of worms, and it can be so
Coin dealer
nuanced.
bites.
I have to drop off very soon, but I think everyone made really good points, and I'm just excited what new U.S. Mint director could mean for the future of mint releases. I think we're in a good trajectory, and we shouldn't be so quick to criticize a step in the right direction. Who knows what 2026 has to hold? 2026 is going to be a huge year for coins and coin anniversaries. We're coming up on the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. And even 100 years ago, with the semi-sesquicentennial releases, we had a new half dollar and a new quarter dollar design, which, I personally love. John R. Sinnock engraved those designs, and I think they're quite beautiful, classic commemoratives. And that was for 150, which is not nearly as a monumental landmark as 250 will be. So I'm excited to see. We also have, very importantly, the 230th anniversary of the 1796 series of coinage. A lot of people, 1793 is the first year the U.S. Mint produced coins in Philadelphia. We got Steven ordering Wendy's at the drive-thru. We got, the 1796 quarter eagle with no stars and stars variety. We have, the bust dollar introduced with the small eagle. We might be seeing a bust dollar release, with that beautiful small eagle reverse. The quarter eagles with the no stars is one of my favorite designs in U.S. numismatics. We had, Mr. 1796, that great collection that came out back in the late 90s, early 2000s, of the finest known of every 1796 coin. And I'd let you peruse that catalog. I'll link it in the comments, because 1796 had some amazing coins. We also have the Continental Dollar, which some say was struck in 1776. Some others say it wasn't, but either way, it is an iconic design of American history, with that sundial and the 13 chain loops interlinked. Everyone here has seen a Continental Dollar, most likely in person. And that's just such an iconic design that we'll be celebrating its 250th anniversary. So there's a lot of material that they can grab from. 2025, let's give them a break here, guys. Let's not beat too much on them, because, we wouldn't want, to have popular sentiment push them away from any revitalization of classic designs in the future. That's all I'm going to say on the issue, but I think that it is a nuanced topic that a lot of people have different opinions on. So that's all I have.
We got to move on because Kurt's got to
Leaving.
go soon. We've got a bunch more stuff to cover. We'll speed run through it. We do have the new
All right.
Walking Liberty half-ounce gold and 1 ounce silver coming out soon. I don't know the exact release date. I don't think they've announced it yet, but this is what they look like. The half dollar has
Those
an
are gorgeous.
actual
No, they look great. They look good.
1916 on them.
That's going to be a big one.
Cool. The Perth Mint is doing a Stranger Things collab.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll
Stranger
zoom in
Things fans
here.
over
This
here.
is all they've released. They haven't released any of the coin images or anything, but this was their post on Instagram.
Do you think that's going to be like a box full?
I don't know. Hopefully it's just a regular coin.
Now, was that a Dragon Ball Z?
This is an
Yeah.
official Dragon Ball Z coin from the Japanese mint. They are just like little commemorative tokens, from what I could see.
Okay, so it's not a coin. Okay, so it's a token.
I
Okay.
was I was a big Dragon Ball Z player and fan as a kid, so I can get behind
Likewise.
that one.
That
I
metal's
wish it
power
was real
level
money.
has to be over 9,000 for sure.
Has to be. I want to end here. This is why I sped ran through the other ones, because I want to end here if Kurt has to leave. I feel like
That
you'll have a lot
Bickford
to
10
say.
is insane.
This
Wow.
auction was wild. I believe it's one of the largest coin auctions in history. Almost $70 million in total sales. 3 different coins reached over $2 million final bids. We've got a Coiled Hair Stella in PR69 CAC from 1880, just beautiful. We've got a Liberty Head Quintuple Stella, which I didn't even know existed,
They're very
and then
rare.
a
Which both sold
Bickford
for over $2
$10.
million.
All 3 over
Amazing.
10
Yeah.
million, or over 2 million.
And all
That's
three
crazy.
are patterns, right? So this is really a landmark sale. I mean, I can't remember the last time a sale. Maybe Bass 4 had multiple proofs or patterns rather. Forgive me, cross over the
That's
seven-figure
crazy.
mark in one sale. But that's just incredible. None of these coins were intended to circulate. They were proposed. Obviously, you have the Stella and the Quintuple Stella. The Bickford 10 is a legitimately rare coin, and that's really my favorite of the three. That's not something you see in essentially gem deep cameo often. I've never seen one in gem deep cameo in person, so that's just amazing.
It's cool. It's unique. It's unique for sure.
Yeah, this is wild. I got into this. I went down a little rabbit hole about the total market cap for different collectibles, and right now cards seems to be like $100 million more than coins in general, but cards is split in such a wide variety of niches. Pokemon cards is only like 200, $300 million a year. Coins alone is 17 billion
Yeah, and
every year.
that's probably just rare coins. That's not talking about bullion. That's just
Yeah, not
specifically high
considering
end
bullion.
rare coins. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just
So
collectible numismatics. It's
Another
absurd.
another really interesting similarity that these three all have is that they're, currency conversion units. I'm not sure of the exact academic term, but these were all US coins that were proposed to, alleviate issues in international trade. Now, this is before the time where you could hop on the Forex exchange and compare the value of the United States dollar. But the $4 Stella, the Quintuple Stella, and the Bickford 10 I have here pulled up. That Bickford 10 on the reverse of that coin is denominated in one, two, three, four, five, six different currency units.
Huh.
So it's a
Wow.
$10 coin.
That's cool.
It's
Actually
worth,
didn't know that.
it's
yeah, I
worth
didn't either.
2.11 pounds sterling, 41.99
Wow,
marken, 37.31 kronen, 20.73 gulden, 51.81 francs. I have that pulled up in the mid
that's crazy.
1870s. The proposal for the international currency was, this is before the euro, folks. This is when you had to do a calculation every time you were doing business with a foreign country. There were no automatic software programs that would do it for you. We have it easy. It was very hard to be a merchant during those times. There was a lot of opportunities for arbitrage. And this was supposed to level the playing field. Now, of course, due to the complexity of international markets, the idea was never fully fleshed. But the Bickford 10, I mean, we've all heard of the Stella. The Quintuple Stella is a multiple of that unit. But the Bickford 10, very, very underrated rarity, I believe, because it's
Yeah.
just as cool and just as historical and probably more rare. I need to do more research on that. But I've certainly seen
That
more Stellas than I have 10s.
that might be my
That's
new
just
favorite gold coin, honestly.
So as a what I like to call myself a bottom feeder, as a junk dealer, it's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're all junk dealers compared to those coins. I mean, someday soon we'll be handling stuff like that raw on our mega yachts parked in the Tampa Bay Harbor. But until
I don't think
then,
I want that. I don't even want that a little bit. But I will.
until
We'll have
then,
fun.
All right, all right. So final thing, Jeff did want to talk about any just what is our upcoming show schedules? What shows are you guys looking out for? What's your next excursion? I know ours probably will be
fun show.
maybe Chicago, maybe Chicago, maybe the
It'll
Whitman.
depend on our docket.
They
But yeah,
want to do something at Whitman, but
Okay, when is that again? Do you know?
Whitman is November 6th through the 8th, open to the public. Dealers a few
Yeah,
days before
that
that. That's going to be my
that's
next
hard
show.
if I'm not mistaken. That's the same time as the big Sedgwick's auction. So
Yep.
we'll have to make a choice between the largest shipwreck and world auction on the planet, or that show, which we could probably do both, but we can't be in both places at the same time.
Yeah.
All-inclusive getaway in the DMV with Kirk Gammer does sound kind of nice, though. So, we'll have to negotiate and see what we can do there. I'm wasting away here in DC. A lot of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But we can hop on them scooters again, make it a good time. How about you,
Cool, but
Yaffe?
any
Are you guys?
My next show is Chicago, the Great American Coin. I think it's Great American Coin Show,
Yep.
GACS.
That's going to do it for this week's episode of the Premier Coin Report. Steven, thank you so much for stopping by.
Absolutely.
Everybody's links are going to be in the
Steven, thank
description
you.
down below. If you watched all the way through this video and you haven't subscribed, we all are very disappointed in you. All right, that's the end.